Hi, I'm Christa Jacobson, head mistress of the Budo, where we teach authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai Bujutsu. And for those of you who don't know what that is, those are the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. In today's video, I'm going to tackle an extremely common question that I get regarding self-defense. And this question is, what's best for self-defense? Striking, grappling, or concealed carry? I get this question all of the time. And to be honest, I should have shot this video a long time ago because it is a very common question. So I thought I would tackle this question today, go out on a nice little walk before we have to start classes today and tackle this topic and share my thoughts on the martial arts with all of you. Now, before I begin, I always give a shout out and an introduction to all of my new viewers. So if you guys are, if this is the first video you've seen of me, real quick, I'm Christa Jacobson. I'm the head mistress of the Budo, which means School of the Warrior Way. I teach the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai, so koryu Ninjutsu and koryu Bujutsu. We also have other areas of focus, such as reality-based self-defense, survival skills, weapons training and tactics, martial arts conditioning, martial arts theory, thought, philosophy. If any of those topics at all interest you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to click the bell. If you don't click the bell, you're not going to get the notifications. Subscribing is great, but unless you're going to constantly check your subscriptions tab on your YouTube channel, you're really not going to keep up with everything that I do. I am very active on YouTube. I do post 2 to 3 videos a week. So if you are interested in those topics, like I said, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and you can get all the notifications and keep up with everything that we're doing. So, common question, what's best for self-defense? Striking, grappling, or concealed carry? Now, I'm going to use an analogy, like I do in all my videos, and to kind of express the way that I look at that particular question. I've said this in many of my videos. Before I started the Budo back in 2004, I used to own a health club. I was a personal trainer and a nutritionist, and I used to help train competitive bodybuilding, and I loved being able to push my body to the extreme and do things that the normal person couldn't do. That's what martial arts should be. It's not quite like that anymore. The majority of martial arts out there are just bullshit and they give out easy rank, but I really enjoy that aspect of training the body. Now, you're wondering where I'm going at with that. When you're training, there are 3 components to nutrition. There's going to be fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. Each one of them is a necessity to keep your body functioning correctly. In self-defense, I look at it in the same way. There's not one better than the other, because if you're only focused on one aspect and you have to use the other, you're not going to be able to do what you need to do in the time that you need to be able to do it. So let's talk about that for a second. There's never a time that you're not going to be able to strike. Every martial art self-defense technique, no matter what the scenario is, no matter what the situation is, you can always strike. You can always utilize your striking technique. Punching, kicking, elbows, knees, all that sort of stuff. You can always be able to do that, okay? Hold on one second. I think there's a police officer. Hold on one second. Okay, we're right on back. It's the first time that I've had a cop pull over and question me on why I'm walking around, you know, that kind of thing. In all honesty, I think it's kind of a nice thing that they do, because I kind of walk around the different blocks and areas all the time shooting video, and yeah, shit, if I saw someone walking around all the time videotaping shit, I might be like, hey, you know, there's someone like taping shit, what's going on, you know? So I can see that a little bit, but actually the police officer just said, hey, what you doing, you know, and that sort of thing. And he also gave me a compliment. He said that I was very pretty, so I'll take that. Anytime I can get that sort of compliment, I'll take that all day, every day. So it was very nice of him to say that. But let's get back on topic. Okay, so what's better for self-defense? Striking, grappling, or concealed carry, which is, you know, whether that concealed carry could be an edged weapon or firearm, right? So I was using the analogy of nutrition. When you're doing proper nutrition for athletic training, whether it's bodybuilding or athletic sports, basketball, football, baseball, whatever you're doing, strength training and so forth, you know, when you're doing that training, you have to have proper nutrition. And that nutrition is going to be coming down to 3 basic components, and that's going to be fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. Each one of those particular nutritional components gives you a different aspect to nutrition that you need to properly have the energy to recover, to have the energy, to have your body function properly. You need all three nutritional components just to live, you know, and to be able to heal your body and energy and build muscle and all this sort of stuff. So when you're doing self-defense, it's kind of the same thing. No matter what situation you're in, you can always strike. So I'm not going to get into like the different distances within combat and all that. And people have done that to death, and I'm just going to be honest with you. Most of it's horse shit. They come up with all these different distances and all these different scenarios, and it's not that damn complicated. They make it complicated, and I think it needs to be more simplistic. You know, and I do need to shoot that video too. That's on my list. My list of shooting videos, to be honest with you guys, is I got a fucking list, and I need to get it done. But anyway, when you're in any self-defense situation, if in a close quarter combative situation, you can always strike. It doesn't matter, you can strike. I can punch, I can kick, I can throw elbows, I can do knees, depending on the distance, but you can strike, right? Now, the only time in a fight that you can grapple is if you're grappling, right? But if you grab me, like you're gonna do some sort of a throw, a nagewaza, I can still hit you. I can still strike. And if we're on the ground grappling, I can still strike. Like there's never a time when you're in a close quarter combative situation where you can't strike. So when you're training for self-defense, your striking skills have to be the number one thing that you do first. You want to make sure, because that is the number one thing you're going to do. Now, everyone wants to talk about sparring and kickboxing and, you know, karate and you get on your line, you on your line, okay, bow, kumite. That's a little different. And the reason it's different is because of distancing. You have two people that are controlling distance, and they in, out, and there's all these exchanges. In a real life situation where you're trying to protect yourself and defend yourself and all that kind of shit, you know, an arm's length, this distance right here, just an arm's length, is a fucking luxury. The distance is fucked, and anyone who's been in a real fucking fight knows that. You don't get the same kind of distance. You can't set up your, you know, jab cross roundhouse combination. Like that shit happens in a match. It doesn't really happen on the street because it's too fast, it's too violent, it's unexpected, and the distance is sandwiched so quick, right? So knowing that, in that altercation where you're dealing with reality-based self-defense, this fast, intense, violent situation where someone's up in your ass and they're trying to hurt you, harm you, take something from you or whatever, striking is the number one thing you have to be good at. Punching, kicking, you know, whatever that is, elbows, knees, blocking, moving, all that kind of stuff. Everything that someone would think about when they think up of, I'm gonna use a generic term, but stand up. You know, you need to have those skills. That's the first thing, because that's what's gonna start. You're not gonna start on the fucking ground. At least I hope you don't start on the ground. If you start on the ground, then let me tell you how that situation happened. You pull up to a gas station, you start pumping gas, you're putting on the gas, and all of a sudden, wham, they put one on your jaw, you fall on the ground. Well, now you're on the ground. Now you got a ground fight. That's how that situation would happen. There's never a time where you should be pulling guard on fucking asphalt. From a strategic perspective, from strategy, it's not smart. So, although I do think that grappling is an essential aspect, it's not the first thing that you should be training in if you're a bare beginner. So if you're a beginner, you should be working on footwork, timing, striking, distancing, blocking, moving, all those kind of things. That should be the first thing. Then grappling. That happens when the person gets so close to you that they can grab you. Whether you guys are in what we call kumyuch, like at the clinch, or whether you both are on the ground and you're rolling around. Newaza, ground technique, you know, that kind of thing. Or chiwaza, some people say chiwaza, earth technique. You know, when you're in those combative situations, well then you're in it. Now you need to have it. It would be a shitty thing if you don't understand how to fight on the ground, and then at the time that you need to fight on the ground, you can't. So you have to have that functional skill. Now, there's also that situation about, well, what if I'm in a situation to where they're too far away from me, yeah? I can't punch them, I can't kick them. Obviously we can't grapple. So what do I do then? Well, if you're in a public environment where, you know, active shooter situation, you know, and I'm not gonna sit there and tell you what you should or shouldn't do, but the only offensive thing you can do, if you choose to do it, would be having a firearm. Now, I live in a state, I live you guys watching my videos, I live in the United States, and I live in Kansas. I live in Kansas City, and we're a constitutional carry state. So in the state that I live in, everyone has a firearm. You don't even need to have a concealed carry license to carry a firearm in Kansas. You just carry a gun. So I don't live in one of those states where it's difficult to carry a firearm if I wanted, and I do. But I'm just saying, so I think that it is utterly ridiculous for someone not to be trained in firearms if they're talking about reality-based self-defense. If you guys haven't seen them, I have done videos on reality-based self-defense. I did a whole series. I did a whole series on situational awareness, part 1, part 2, part 3. You guys should go watch all those things. I really talk about the mentality of all those intense situations. But getting on topic, you don't get to choose when you have to perform Goshinjutsu or self-defense. You don't get that choice. It just happens. And you're gonna have to step up and handle that situation when it happens. So knowing that, you would want to be as skilled as possible in that situation. So make sure that whatever martial art that you choose, you know, don't be one of these first dan masters that jump around and all this stupid shit. We should, you know, I've talked about the first dan masters and the jack of all trades, master of none to death. I've never actually made a video on the subject, but I do talk about their pathetic, bottom-dwelling, leeching ass in on the martial arts community. But the reality of it is, find a teacher that you can connect with, a teacher that you feel is going to tell you what you need to know, teach you what you need to know, and condition your body and train you to what you need to do. Find that teacher. Make sure that they can give you the tools for any situation: striking, grappling, concealed carry, whether it's edge weapons, firearms, whatever it is, or if it's even something smaller than that. Even if it's something whether it's an impact tool, right, or force multiplier. Whatever the situation is, make sure that you have the tools and the training to be able to utilize those things when you need them, because that's going to be important. But you know, there's that saying that, and it's just true, you know, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Now, I'm a huge advocate for loyalty and dedication to whatever craft it is that you choose. I don't think that people need to be doing multiple different martial arts and, you know, 20, 30 different things and 5 different teachers and all that kind of horse shit. I'm an advocate for, you know, loyalty and dedication to whatever school it is and your teacher and all that sort of thing. Huge. I mean, I teach ancient ninja and martial arts, for crying out loud, right? So I'm a huge advocate for, you know, loyalty and honor and discipline and those sort of things, you know, not like jump, hop, skip, jumping around kind of shit. But I do think that you need to prepare yourself and get the education that you need in the field of study that you needed. So yes, I think that it's just like nutrition. You need all 3 components to have healthy intake so your body can perform properly. Same thing with self-defense. You're going to need to be trained in striking techniques, grappling techniques, whether it's from the clinch or on the ground, and concealed carry, firearms, edged weapons, etc. And if you're not going to train in concealed carry to use it, you definitely should be training in to have techniques that go against it. You're not going to draw your gun and play Billy the Kid, you know, or John Wick when someone already has drawn on you. You don't draw on someone that's drawn on you. You know what I mean? That's where taijutsu and training kicks in. So anyway, this is kind of a short video for me, but I definitely wanted to tackle that question. Which one is better, striking, grappling, or concealed carry? None of them are better. You have to be skilled in all 3. So that's gonna be my video today. If you guys have any questions, stick it in the comment section below. I know I was really generic on the description with today's lesson, but hopefully you guys caught, you know, the lesson today, and you guys can take this information and apply it to your training. So real quick, if you guys are interested in authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu, please check out my website at www.budoninjutsu.com. There you can see the 7 traditions that we teach, the different strategies and philosophy of the school. You can also see a list of our schools. If you don't live next to one of our schools, you can always join the Budo online ninjutsu dojo, and you can start your training that way. So thank you guys very much for your love and support. Until next time, take care, be safe, and good luck in your journey of Budo.